I am Palestinian. I was actually born in Ramallah. My uncle, his name is Sakher Habash. He led the second Intifada. So I came from a family who praised terrorism, praised Intifada. I really salute to IDF. These soldiers are the lion and the lioness in the face of these hyenas and wolves. And this is a message to Mr. Netanyahu, to all the politicians, to the IDF, to every Jewish person worldwide. If you have a sense of dignity, you will make sure that the Palestinians will never ever have a state forever.
Before we get to the video, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that notification button so you can be notified every time I upload new content. If you'd like to support me and the channel financially, you can do that using Buy Me Coffee or Patreon down in the links in the description. Let's get to the video. I've heard so much about you. You were actually the person who insisted in conducting this interview. You messaged me, I think, 3-4 times on Instagram just to be heard and to expose the truth. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you so much, Sahar. I really appreciate giving me the opportunity to do this interview with you. You're amazing and you're strong, you're brave. And I really encourage everybody who listen to you to share your videos and to share the truth, and many people to learn from that. You're very well educated about the cause and about the root cause of the conflict and all that, and I'm so honored and it's a pleasure for me to be with you.
Before we get started, you used to be Muslim, right?
Yes.
Do you think that the conflict that we're currently at has anything to do with religion?
Of course, it's the root cause of the whole conflict, let's put it this way, beside other reasons, but this is the foundation of the cause. It starts with the religious conflicts between the Islamic world with the Jewish world, I'll put it this way.
For the people who don't know, Sandra, would you like me to say your full name or just Sandra?
Yes, my name is Sandra Solomon, and I am Palestinian. I was born with a Palestinian family. Muslim family. I was actually born in Ramallah. My whole family, we originated from Beit Tajan, Jaffa. After my birth, we moved to Jordan, and then later on, at age of 9, I moved to Saudi Arabia. So basically, I was raised most of my life in Saudi Arabia. Fast forward to the future, I was also forced into a marriage back to Saudi Arabia after I spent a few years after high school in Jordan. Lots of things to be shared for the story. There's lots of details in the story, but I'm going to try to sum it up with the most important parts that make people understand where I came from, the struggle that I faced, persecutions that I faced as well. Number one, leaving Islam. Number two, standing for Israel, standing for the Jewish community, standing for the right of the Israel to exist. So basically, there's lots of information and the first-hand experience. That's my life. Nobody can say no to that. Nobody can question the things that I faced, first-hand experience. To start with, trying to, question the lifestyle that we used to live in Saudi Arabia, the things that I've been forced onto me, especially the hijab and the niqab and covering the face and all that. So in the beginning, I will take you with a quick journey about my childhood and the things that we've been taught in between Jordan and Saudi Arabia when it comes to the Jewish community and Israel as well. So as a Palestinian, we grow up in a communities where not just the community, like the family, the media, the schools, the streets, everywhere. We've been taught that Jewish people are filthy, they are the occupiers who occupied our land. We have to beautify the Aqsa Mosque from them. We have to do the Intifada. We have to rise up against this oppression and free Palestine from the river to the sea. And we, with the slogans that we used to chant all the time, Palestine Arabiya, min al-mayya lal-mayya, the root foundation of the teaching, the doctrination in the school since we are young. I'm talking about 5 years old, 6 years old. We grow up daily on a day-to-day basis that when we watch the TV, when we watch about, the conflict, the attacks on the Jewish community, either coming from Gaza Strip or the West Bank, and every time when there is a terrorist attack took a place and kill innocent civilians, Jewish innocent civilians, these terrorists are praised. And we used to, like, all the neighbors, our neighbor, the whole community will go on the streets and they will give candies and they will celebrate and they will chant. And also all they call it al-muqawama, resistant songs. They call it like al-anashid or aghani al-muqawama, the songs of resistance. And they will dance and do the dabka, and then like it's a celebration of death. They celebrate death. This is what I grow up with. We've been taught in school. Doesn't matter in Saudi Arabia or Jordan or at home. Again, the media, like especially Al Jazeera, day and night, feeding into people's heart and mind and spirit that Israel must be wiped out. Israel has no right to exist. Jewish people, they are filthy. They are the occupiers. They are the oppressions. They are the one who wants to, they took our land. They kill us all. They just want to wipe us. So we have to wipe them before they wipe us. Let's put it this way. And we have to get these children to learn about jihad, about terrorism, and how to, many ladies and in Jordan, in Saudi Arabia, they were, dress the kids as a Hamas, how they dress. They will dress the kids, especially in the schools, and they will dress them and they will give them a training, like a jihadi militant campaign training. So they are fully equipped mentally and physically ready to give themselves for the cause. In Arabic, al-qadiyya al-Falastiniyya, the case of Palestine. So this is the things that I grow up with. And I used to believe it. My grandma was at the from the refugees who left at the 1948. My grandmother. And she used to be a farmer. She had a big land, big 8-acre lands with a nice big house. She used to farm like an orange. Jaffa, known by the orange. It's famous there. So, but when the conflict started, okay, when the IDF or the Israeli army came in, there was a chaos. There was a clash, shooting everywhere, bombing everywhere. And, they called them al-fidaiyin, the fidaiyin, like al-jihadist or the terrorists, or another like Palestinian name for them. They called them fidaiyin. So they used to also have the clash with the Jewish community, the Israeli army and all that. So my grandmother was one of the people who left her home, her land in the 1948. So therefore, the hatred toward the Jews even doubled or tripled from my side, because I loved my grandmother. She was illiterate. She doesn't know how to read and write. She doesn't know, like, all what she knows that she had this land, this farm, and then all of a sudden she's in a refugee camp and later on moved to Jordan. However, I just want to emphasize on this story, if you don't mind.
Please.
So to just show the difference between when the Israeli army come in to a city or a town and there is a chaos, there is a conflict, there is a clash, there is a shooting everywhere. People are the civilians. My grandma, she was a civilian. She had no military training. She had no idea what's going on. She was a single mom with a 2-year-old baby, which is my father. And but when the Israeli army, I asked her many times, specifically as I grew, to know exactly, what the what the soldiers did to her. And I asked her, I want to show the people the difference when the Israeli soldiers go into a conflict zone and they want to clear out the civilians, how they conduct it, how they do it. So when they came to her, I said, did they lay hands on you? Did they beat you up? Did they were aggressive? She said, no. Surprisingly, no. She said, they were super nice to me. They talked to me nicely. They hold the baby. They helped me with the baby. And also they waited for me. She had gold and money and all that, whatever she had. She said, they give me my time. They were there securing me. And I got my gold. I got my clothes. I got whatever I need. And escorted me out, to a safe zone until, she reached out to the refugee camp. So for people to understand, that time, later on, I came to realize when October 7th happened, when Hamas came in and killed all these innocent people and the children and raped women and the stupidity, terrorist things that they did, the difference between the Israeli army and the difference between these terrorists, what they did, the atrocity, what they did, the brutally, what they did to the Jewish community. So, and in comparison, so when they talk about the IDF, I really salute to IDF and I appreciate every hard work. These soldiers are the lion and the lioness in the face of these hyenas and wolves. And that's the difference. When you talk about soldiers who respect humanity, who's there for the people, the women, the right for the children, the safety of the kids. So they escort her out. And of course, definitely, she, like anybody who will feel definitely sad to leave their home and their lands behind. No doubt about it. But her crying all the time when she used to watch it the TV and all that, and she will cry when she see especially the first Intifada and the second Intifada and all that. But then I said to her, Grandma, thanks God, now you are safe. You are alive. You're here. Anyway, at the end of the day, even in Islam, it teaches that everybody that one day will die and take nothing with them. We're not taking anything with them. The most important thing is your life. It's your existence. It doesn't matter which land you're on. Right. It doesn't matter which country. You're alive. The Israeli soldiers, they did not she said, no, they treat me very well. They did not, they beat you? No. They slap you? No. They drag you? No. She was no, they were very nice to me and they give me my time to take care of my baby, and they hold the baby and they help her out to escort her in a safe zone. So people need to see the difference. That's very important point to mention. Later on, when I grew up with that, of course, the sadness of my grandmother, beside the teaching in school, in the media, on the street, everywhere, that as a Palestinian, we have to, do Intifada and go to Al-Aqsa Mosque and purify the Aqsa Mosque, because Islam teach that the Jews are filthy. Najs in Arabic. Najs mean even more than filthy. They are the filthiest people on the face of the planet. And they are, that's why when the Jewish rabbis and the community, they want to pray on the Temple Mountain, they rise up against them. They they get angry and outraged. You know what I mean? How come you let these Jews to walk in the Temple Mountain, which was their temple with the Solomon temple and all that, whatever I learned after.
You weren't aware at the time that the temple belonged to the Jewish people way before it belonged to the Muslim?
No. Let me put it this way. So the history has been twisted. The twisting of the history and the hiding of the most important information that will free anybody and everybody who comes to in a full understanding of what happened in the past. So we never We never, they say, oh, Israel claimed that there was a temple. Israel are lying. They are digging and digging, and they are building these tunnels underneath the Aqsa Mosque or the Dome of the Rock so it can fall, so they can build the temple. And there was no temple ever. It was always a mosque, always Al-Aqsa Mosque. It's always there. There was no existence of the Jewish community in that land, in that region. Always Arab, always Muslim. So we grow up in knowing or believing that, okay, so these people who being cast out from Europe, from Russia, from the whole world, okay, nobody wants them. Everybody hates them, especially, you know, the Nazis after of course, the Holocaust and all that. So, okay, so this is what they, teach us. Oh, everybody hate the Jews. Nobody loves the Jews. It doesn't matter where are on any country in the world. Everybody will still hate the Jews, and they don't want them. They say, okay, let's just send them to Palestine and build the state of Israel on the rubble of the state of Palestine, supposedly. So this is what I grow up with, knowing or believing that there was no such a thing called Israel. The Jewish community are hated globally. Nobody wants them. Everybody hates them. And then all of a sudden, you know, after Balfour Declaration, they say, okay, let's give them a land and give the Palestinian land a little bit, split the lands to the Israelis or to the Jewish community and also to the Palestinians. And on top of that, they will say it that, okay, we accept it, but the Jewish, they don't want. Israel doesn't want. We want the peace. We are the one who wants the peace. Like, it's a hypocrisy, the contradicting. As I grew more and more, as I came to know the truth about the evil cruelty of the cult of Islam, that was my first wake-up call. As I was raised in Saudi Arabia, as I mentioned, of course, we were forced to wear the hijab. We were forced to cover the face. I've been to Mecca many times. You know, we grew up in the city of Jeddah, very close to Mecca, and we used to go there. And the things that I've seen, the harassment, the sexual harassment in the Kaaba, around the Kaaba itself.
What do you mean by sexual harassment? Can you be more specific? What did you see?
For many people, they don't even maybe know this. Men, when they wear the whites, like the white gown, whatever they wear on their body, like the towel, I would say they wrap it up around themselves. There's no underwear. They're not wearing underwear. So when a massive number of people, bumper to bumper, hating to each other. So I've been sexually harassed in Mecca. Like this has happened like later on. And many women, they suffer from that. So at age of, let's say 16, 17, I start to rebel. I said, you know what? I don't want to wear the hijab. We used to go to Jordan every summer vacation, and we spend the time with my grandmother. And so I would like Jordan. It's a little bit more of a secular, than Saudi Arabia. So I would say that when I used to see like lots of women, they're not wearing the hijab. So why you want to force me to wear it? I hate it. That was my first red flag is the hijab. I don't want to wear the hijab. It doesn't make me pure or holy to put this rag on my head. It comes within. The holiness, the cleanliness, it comes from within. It's not what's on me. It's what's in me, of the ideas, of the beliefs.
Yeah.
And of course, they lots of things happen after, my family start, of course, persecuting me. And when I start to question, and many times in Saudi Arabia, they kicked me out from the class many times. They didn't let me come back to the class for so many days. And the fact that I start questioning Quran itself, questioning Muhammad himself. So I used to ask them question. But in Islam, you cannot ask. لا تسألوا عن أشياء إذا تبدى لكم تسؤكم. Don't ask about anything if it appears to you, it will harm you. Why would it harm me if this is the truth? Why would it harm me? Would it benefit me? It's supposed to benefit me and make me more delight and understanding. what's this verse really mean? What's the the message of this book? What's this message?
Sandra, you started rebelling because of the persecution you felt towards women, because of the hijab, because of the niqab. That was the event that opened your eyes about the whole thing?
Yes, sir. And later on, of course, it became the questioning of more and more analyzing or critical thinking. Because in Islam, you're not allowed to have a critical thinking. You just blindly say yes and submit and follow. That's it. If you question, no good. It's like someone is telling you, if I tell you, I will have to kill you. Like literally this much. It's an organized mafia cult. It's organized crime with criminals who control the mass, starting from the politicians. Again, also the religious leaders, beside the media, and then pass on to the family, pass on to the community, pass on to the children. So the whole system, everybody in the country following the same system, following the same regime or ideas or the ideology itself. They are believing in it. They see women as subhuman. We're not fully mentally developed, so we need a man, a guardian. We cannot have a decision on our own. We cannot decide for ourselves. We cannot go anywhere without muhram, without guardian. We cannot, we have to just say yes to the master. It doesn't matter he's the father or brother or a husband, even if it's forced marriage, it doesn't matter. So basically women has no say, and women are very, very, very oppressed under Islam and Sharia law. So my learning of Sharia law as a system, I start to learn. In Saudi Arabia, they focus mainly on the Islamic teaching. Like let's say 80 to 90% is Islamic teaching. The rest of the subject, of course, it's Arabic, a little bit of math here and there, but 90% is Islam. All what we learn is Islam. The Quran is Islam. The Quran and the Islam, the main things that we learn every day, reading this freaking damn book every day. And we have to memorize it. And then every time I would just going crazy, just memorize, like going our head like this, just memorizing without understanding. We just, listening to the tajweed, the melodies of the recitations. And we have to learn tawheed and fiqh and hadith and tafsir, mean the explanation of Quran. And then when you question them, they say, no, you're not allowed to question. You just read, memorize, fill your head with anything stupid, and just follow. You have no right to ask. Why you ask? Because someone said that. Let me tell you something. Without the apostates, like let's say death penalty, Islam would have vanished thousands of years ago.
So you're claiming that there's a lot of people like you that woke up to this and understand this, but if they leave, they could be killed.
Yes, because that's the fatwa of Muhammad more than 1400 years ago. Whoever changed the religion, kill them. This is the fatwa. That's been declared. That's it. If you leave Islam, the penalty, it's you need to be killed or executed publicly. They don't believe in, like electric chair or whatever, something like that. They have to be publicly executed in the execution square, where I witnessed myself between age and 11.
You saw it?
Every Friday in like Mecca and around, like there is an area between Jeddah and Mecca. There is a place where many people, they gathered, and they take the kids with them to witness or to see the execution. There is an execution square until now. It's happening in Saudi Arabia. The execution square, we don't know who's the person. They cover their heads. And then a man, big built man with the big sword. And then they put them and they say, Allahu Akbar. And they chop the head from
And the children get to see it?
100%. Children in Saudi Arabia, they are allowed into that place to witness the beheading. This is the thing, Mr. Sahar. One thing, the dehumanizations start from early age. The child is dehumanized. So if the child can see a beheading and the cutting off from the hands as well, and all this crime, if they are witnessing the father or any man in the family beating out the wife or beating the mother or treating women as a subhuman or treating the children themselves are getting beat up if they don't listen to the imam, if they are not wanted to just sit and learn the Quran, if they question. So yes, the kids are victims of the doctrination of Sharia law.
Wow.
And Islam.
Isn't it very similar to what happened back in Muhammad's day, where Jews and Christians would be, they would be treated in a different manner than the Muslims? For example, a Jewish or a Christian that would have to pay the jizya, they would have to either have their hair shaved, and they would have to be paying in subjugation. Why? So the children of that specific father who's being subjugated to pay the jizya sees their father that way and saying, maybe if I convert to Islam, I'm not going to be treated that way. Is it to instill fear in the children to realize that if I do something like this, that's going to be my fate? So I'm going to stay here and I'm going to keep practicing Islam and following Islam for eternity. Otherwise, I'm going to be in that right there in the center, in that square, in that execution square.
Exactly. Basically, Islam was, spreads through terror and misleading, lying. So anytime when they say, oh, it's religion of peace, we love everybody. Oh, we don't hate the Jews, we just hate the Zionists. That's very straightforward lie. There is no such a thing called, there is a verse in the Quran says, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَدْعُوا لِلسِّلْمِ وَأَنْتُمِ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. Do not weaken or call for peace because you are the above, al-a'lawn, like above, supreme, like they are the above everybody. The supremacy of Muslim above every another communities. It doesn't matter. Muhammad himself, he said, I will not leave any Christians or a Jew in the land of Arab, only Muslims. And we see it. We already see it. Many hundreds of years. No more churches in Saudi Arabia. No more like synagogues. You're not allowed to bring the Bible and preach. You're not allowed to tell people the truth. You cannot, even do like evangelism or talk to them or express your thoughts even, or just tell them what you actually really believe. And you're not allowed. And add to that, in Mecca, there is two roads. The side for the non-Muslim and the side for the Muslim. Like on the billboard on the road, as the traffic flow, the non-Muslim, they're not allowed to enter Mecca because they consider them filthy. Every infidel or kafir, according to Islam and the Sharia law, they are considered filthy.
Wow.
They're not allowed to enter Mecca. They're not allowed to even touch the Quran or even go to a mosque or anything like that. They consider them filthy. So back to the Palestinian cause, al-Qadiyya al-Falastiniya, this case, it should be closed. There is no ongoing for the Palestinian case. It should be dismissed. After October 7, enough, it's enough. The Palestinian case should be closed forever and ever. And this is a message from me to Mr. Netanyahu, to all the politicians, to the IDF, to every Jewish person worldwide. If you have a sense of dignity, you will make sure that the Palestinians will never, ever, ever have a state forever. Never. That's my message. If they have a sense of dignity. Because that's what's going on now in the West. That's another issue that I faced moving to the West, thinking that the West, democracy. We have a freedom. We can talk. We can tell the people. I face another problem when I start talking to the liberals and the lefties. I face a problem with them, the psychos who doesn't know anything about the Palestinians, whatever the root cause of the conflict between the Palestinians or the Arab or the Muslim generally with Israel and the Jews. They have no idea what's going on. They don't know the ultimate goal. I was taught when I was young, نحن سوف نعادي اليهود حتى لو أعادوا لنا فلسطين. We are still enemy with the Jews, even if they give us Palestine. This is what we've been taught. It's not about the land. It's never about the land, and it will never be about the land. It's about annihilation and destructions and murdering and wiping off the Jews and Israel from the face of the planet and the globe next. And the next is the world. And the one and only reason, for the Jewish people to remain and stand firm and continue this fight. I know it's hard. I know it's tough for them not to forget. You do not forget what happened to you. Don't forget the Nazis. They used to teach us that Hitler did one mistake. He left some Jews behind. He should have wiped them all off. I went to the Auschwitz. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen the horror that the Jewish people went through in the Auschwitz. I see the chambers. I see the shaved hair, piles. I've seen the piles of the suitcase. I've seen the piles of the shoes. I've seen the piles of the glasses and the pictures on the walls. And if Palestinians get a state, every day will be October 7, and not just in Israel. It will be globally. And what they're doing now, giving the right for Palestinians to be recognized, for them to have a state, it's like telling these Hamas terrorists, telling them that you are rewarded. We are rewarding you with the state. Now they're going to give them more power to manifest the attack over and over again. And guess what? Not only in Israel, October 7 can happen in UK, in France, in US, in Canada, in Australia. Everywhere in the world, when each and every country, who is recognizing Palestine states, you are next for your October 7. Get ready. Because these people will not stop. You're giving them a ticket to come to your home, to come to your backyard and rape your women and murder your children. These children, Jewish children, babies, were not killed, were not murdered in Gaza for Hamas to have a state, for the Palestinian who has a state. And don't tell me civilians. Civilians who chants free Palestine and doing zaghruta and yelling after for Hamas and screaming death to America, death to Israel, death to the Jews. They are disqualified of being civilized or to be called civilians. Automatically, I will disqualify them. I cannot call them civilians anymore. If you're standing side by side with Hamas, with any terrorist organization, Muslim Brotherhood, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, the list can go on and on. The terrorist groups are being displaced globally, and they are ready. And there's lots of sleep cells in every country on the face of the planet. And don't tell me no. Nobody immune from attack similar to October 7, even worse. Not too long ago, the Pahalgam attack in India, when the terrorists, all of a sudden, people are enjoying their picnics in Kashmir, and they came to them and they say, okay, recite the kalima, which is the Quran, to distinguish them from the being Hindu or being Muslim. And everybody who's Hindu, they've been shot.
What else did they do, Sandra? They did something that Muhammad did, that the army of Muhammad did to the Jews in Khaybar. What else did they do with the pants? Do you know what they did? They pulled down the pants of the Hindus to see who is circumcised and who is uncircumcised, to know who is Muslim and who is not Muslim, just like Muhammad did to the Jews of Khaybar. Exactly the same thing. History is repeating itself. Wow.
100%. The three types in the Arabic Peninsula, which is Saudi Arabia right now, okay? Yahud Banu Qurayda, the Jews of Banu Qurayda, Yahud Khaybar, Yahud Banu Nadir. And guess what? The chant or the screaming Allahu Akbar came from the time when Muhammad attacked the Jews of Khaybar. And he said, Allahu Akbar, kharibat Khaybar. Khaybar is being destroyed. Allahu Akbar. It doesn't mean Allah is the greatest. Akbar means bigger. It doesn't mean he's a great. He's not a great. Allah is not a great. So what they did, they dig the pit. Exactly what the, our heart and prayer for the Israeli hostage, who's the videos has been circulated all over. Yes. Digging his own grave. So they dig. They make them dig and they dig for them. And they cut them one by one. And guess what Muhammad says to his follower? For the boys, they used to show them the under armpits and the private part. Whoever grow hair, kill them. And guess what? His followers, or the jihadists, the early terrorists, okay, they ask him, what about the kids, the infants, the toddlers, these? You know what he said? Hum minhum faqtuluhum. They are from them, kill them. With no mercy, they wipe off the whole tribe. And guess what? From Banu Qurayda, Banu Nadir, Banu Khaybar, one of the tribes, Safiya, let's not forget our grandmother. This is for the Jewish community. You don't forget Safiya.
Nope.
Who they killed her father and brother and husband. And the same night, Muhammad himself, he took her for himself as a sex slave. Don't tell me he married her to free her. She was a sex slave. And the list can go on and on and on. There is lots of details. But the root cause of the whole conflict, it's in this book. This is the teaching, the doctrination of this book that should be designated as a hate literature globally. If we have men in the houses, the parliaments, if we have men, but we don't. The lefties, the libtarded, they bow down to the terrorists. Good. Let them give it to them. Good. And the day will come, the conflict, the war zone is going to expand more and more until they create the global chaos. And that's what they want. This is something that many people need to understand and make it clear. Islam doesn't believe in borders. There's no borders. There's something called the global caliphate. Al-Khilafa al-Islamiyya. Al-Khilafa al-Islamiyya in Arabic. There's no such a thing called border. When Muhammad tell his early jihadists, اغزوا الروم تظفروا في بنات الأصفر. Go fight Rome and you will get the blondies. Is this for the cause of spreading a true message? Oh, enlightening the people to the light of Islam and build the ummah? Ummah of what? Ummah of shame. And let me tell you something. There's a one word that many people need to learn it. Muhammad, when he spent whatever, more than 10 years in Mecca on his first da'wah to Islam, and nobody listened to him. Nobody ignored him. What he did, there is a missing part here. People need to know it. What he did, he went to a group of bandits and thugs. In Arabic, we call them sa'alik. Su'luk. So when next time when you talk to anybody of these Sa'alik, you call them, hi Sa'luk. You don't call him by his name, especially Hamza. You tell him, hi Sa'luk, because these are bandits and the thugs. They make the bandism and the thugging a religion, mafia, a cult. It's not about, doing the, I'm not against anybody wants to practice anything. You can worship, don't worship, you're atheist, not atheist, whatever. As a Christian, we've been called to pray for everybody. As a Christian, we've been told to love everybody. And whatever I'm saying now is not out of hate, it's out of love, because people needs to wake up. When I see kids chanting on the streets of UK, London, we call it Londistan, and Canada, Canadistan, Canadian Arabia,
and Francistan,
and US. When I see these people, are you kidding me? After everything happened in October 7, and you have the guts, instead of say free Palestine, you should shout free the hostages, bring them home. We don't want Hamas. Hamas does not represent majority of the Palestinians, supposedly, which is not. And don't tell me only in Gaza. In the West Bank, the same. And let me be clear. When I say something, I don't say that everybody are the same. There is always a minority who does not agree or does not approve. Even among the Muslim community.
But if they try to speak out against those terrorist organizations, they get executed.
They've been executed, they've been cast out, and they can lose their life. They can be assassinated, they can be anything, name it. And same here. In the West, if someone wants to say something, when I try to educate the mass and tell them about and warn them about the Islamization, which is the first thing or the first main reason that beside the Islam, beside the teaching of the Quran, the act of Muhammad, the expanding, it comes with the Islamization. When you Islamize the West, Islamize of these nations and these countries, the labeling, say Muhammad, he labeled everybody who does not believe in Islam a kafir. And what will be, according to after this labeling, so what the consequences of being kafir? Okay, you said I'm kafir, so what? No, there is a penalty of being kafir. It's either you accept Islam or you pay the jizya an yad wa hum saghirun. Not just pay jizya and were you subdued, humiliated, or you will be killed. Is this, I'm sorry, you don't have to, it's not a rocket science. You don't have to be super intelligent, okay, to understand. Islam, it's a cult, it's a political agenda masking the act of religion. It's the act of war. Muhammad was a warmonger. Muhammad was a war crime. Muhammad was a pedophile. Muhammad was a mad, crazy. Muhammad was the one who the bloodshed of thousands and millions of people for more than 1,000 years on every hand of everybody who say, yes, we stand with the Palestinian Hamas. Yes, we stand with whatever. Of course, I want the Palestinian kids. Because when I see the Palestinian kids looking at this Abu Ubaida or Sinwar or Hania, or the list can go on and go on. We had their pictures on the walls everywhere, and they praised them as the heroes. So when you bring a child who's 5, 6 years old, looking at the picture of Sinwar and praise him as a hero, and say, you know what, one day I will grow up and I will do another October 7, even mega October 7, even worse. And let me ask everybody a question. If the IDF did not interfere, or security, or the police, or anybody who came to rescue the Jewish community in the kibbutz at October 7, what would happen? What would have happened? What would have happened? It will be a massive chaos with the bloodshed, lots of corpses all over the roads. Lots of women will be, and more hostages will be taken. Even the children. They don't care about their own children. So how are you expecting them to take care of your children? If they are giving their own daughters at age of 7, 8, 9, for 50 years old men to marry them, what is this telling you? You know what the majority Palestinian women, they used to say, even like, they multiply, have many kids.
Yeah.
And they say, it's okay. One go, we have another. And they will celebrate. And let me tell you the difference between a Jewish mother who sent her child to the IDF to fight for the protection of the state of Israel. She would sit down and light the candles and pray and heartbroken and waiting anxiously for her child, a soldier, to come back.
Right.
From the war safe, not wounded, not hurt, nothing. But the Palestinian mothers, when they themselves, there was videos, lots of videos that used to be, like I've seen so many since the age of 10? So I've seen so many videos. The Western media doesn't show it. Lots of, people don't share that things, but we used to see it. We've seen when a mother putting the suicide pill around her 7, 8 years old child and sending them to the jihadi campaign. And when they send these kids to grow up and to be trained and to be jihadists, and they say, Ruh yamma. When they come back, Muhammad mean like in a coffin. Is she sad? No. They will be happy, rejoicing, because Islam teach this is the martyr, this is shaheed. With the first drop of their blood, they can be intercessor for 70 to 80 people of their family to Jannah. So therefore, they're actually sacrificing their own children to go jihad and to commit terrorist attack for the sake of Allah, for the sake of Islam, for the sake of the Ummah, for these jihadists to become a martyr, so they are the intercessor for their family to go to Jannah. The sick, twisted, there's no motherhood, there is no fatherhood, there is no, name it, there's no mercy for their own children. They take them as a sack of potatoes. Like they don't think of them as a human being who needs to be secured and well nourished and well educated, and teach them love and teach them peace and not teach them revenge. This is the spirit of revenge. And let me be more emphasize a little bit here on some points. The war here is not just physical war. We are fighting the ideological war and a spiritual war. It's everywhere. That at this time, it's very critical and so important, because now Israel is under a global attack. And this is a call for every Jewish member, every Jewish community globally. Pray for Israel, because this is what the Bible says. I will bless who bless thee, and I will curse who curse thee. So my life changed. And how do I change? One word. I read the Bible. I read the true history through reading, through education, and how important, Mr. Sakher, what you're doing to educate one person at a time, and many people and millions of people to learn. And then when they go back and search the information that you're giving them, and they come to know that this is the truth, and only the truth will set people free. Palestine it doesn't need to be free. It's the people, the Palestinians needs to be freed from the spirit of revenge, in the hatred, and stop the mass chaos of celebrating of the act of jihad and terrorism, killing civilians, being a murderer, makes you a criminal. And I understand the struggle and how much is hard for the Israeli government and the IDF, because at the end of the day, how can you pick and choose? How can you distinguish? It's on the ground. On the ground, how would you know? Like, how would you know that this Hamas and this is not Hamas? If they hide behind civilians, if they build their tunnels, not the hostages, the tunnels, it should be Hamas grave. They should be buried in their tunnels. And guess who built these tunnels for them? The children. And then when the conflict, when the war started, after the Israel start to, of course, self-defense. Who has nobody has any say to stop Israel from protecting and defending itself. Israel has the right to protect and defend its own people.
I have a question for you from your understanding of the culture, because you clearly grew up in that environment. Do you think women in Gaza, mothers in Gaza, send their children under 17, 16 years old to fight with Hamas? Do you think they send them to die for the cause? What do you think is actually happening?
100%. With October 7 or with not. Before October 7, they preparing the children. They are preparing, indoctrinating them. I used to see so many videos of women, like jihadists, women jihadists as well. The women themselves, they go in the jihadi campaign to learn how to use the firearms and how to use the IEDs and how to do that. Like women also as being trained. Women with their children and the husband and the brother and the father and the whole family, they go to the jihadi campaign and to teach them, how to commit a crime. I won't call it resistant. This is a criminal act. This is not resistant. If they consistently, protest peacefully, go to the UN, go to the national courts, go to this, that's peaceful resistance. If you have a right to something, civilized people, they talk to each other. They don't kill each other. Until now, I dream the day will come and I will go to Israel and I will plant a new tree of orange for my grandmother.
Wow.
And I will raise the Israeli flag and salute it. Because I'm sorry, as a Palestinian, I don't want to live under any Palestinian, either the PLO or Hamas or any other newcomer government, because I know. And people need to take the word from us who lived it, who understand it, who know it very well, who has the first-hand experience of the atrocity of Islam, the cruelty of Islam. Our life, we're putting our life at the front line. I'm coming out with my face. I'm not hiding my face like the Sa'alik Hamas, like the cowards Hamas. If you're a man, you show your face. But they're not men. They're just criminals. Criminals, they hide their face. They know what they're doing, and they know. And I know that they will come, they will be rotten in hell forever and ever. This is where they go. If anybody from the lefties, from the Palestinian side, if you think that Hamas is a hero, you are totally mistaken. They're not a hero. They're a criminal. They're war criminals. These are the true war criminals. And the leader of all terrorists, Muhammad, who taught them this. And year by year, one by one, soul by soul, the day will come. And we know that Israel will always win. Israel always win. Let me tell you, people don't know, they don't understand the mechanism, the formula for Israel. I understand it. The more you attack Israel, the more stronger it becomes. The more expanding they take over like their sovereignty of their own ancestor land. They're not taking our land. We are the one who occupied their lands. We, the Arab. They need to fill the gap of the missing pieces of the history that never taught in Middle East or in the Arabic Islamic media, not in the school, not in the families, not in the homes, nowhere. Nobody taught us the true history of the Jews. And guess what? When you talk about Israel, Israel came as a name for Jacob. Jacob was Israel.
Which means wrestle with God.
Exactly. And also, when I left Islam, and then many years after, fast forward, I was still holding on my, I would say, wanted to just, vengeance for my grandmother, anger. Like because it passed on generation after generation. They inherit the inheritance of the psychological mental problem. Because Islam, it's a mental problem. And they inherit the psychological and the revenge. The revenge, it's something very, very important that people need to understand. That it's hard to strip them out from the spirit of revenge. They will want it to vengeance because, they see what's going on. They see what happened of their ancestors and whatever. Oh, I'm going to grow up and become jihadist and then die. And then they have children. Oh, I'm going to grow up. Everybody dream to become a jihadist. And this is what the oath that I used to give every day in school. Islam, it's our religion. Muhammad is our prophet. Jihad, it's our way. Quran, it's our constitution. And dying for Allah, it's our ultimate dream. So the ultimate dream for these Palestinian kids, it's to die for Allah. The ultimate dream for Hamas jihadists, terrorists, Sa'alik, it's to die for Allah. So why you are crying if IDF, fighting you and giving you what you actually really ultimately dreaming about? Shouldn't you be rejoicing? Aren't they the shaheed? Aren't they the heroes who die for the cause? So why are you crying? The crocodile's tears, that comes when I see it in the media and especially the West. Oh, the genocide. Oh, the whatever. Of course, I feel for the Palestinian kids. I don't want them to grow in the same cycle of hatred, the cycle of violence, the cycle of revenge. It's keeping on and on and on. And Hamas, who doesn't give a damn about the Palestinian kids, and they don't care about the Palestinian case or the Palestinian cause, because to them, it's not about the land. It's never about the land. It's not about Tufan al-Aqsa. It's not even about the Aqsa. The ultimate dream is to bring the Ummah together. So they are going to build the Islamic global caliphate, period. In the West, they are doing it, and the West are sleeping in their sleeping freaking frog mood. And through organization, mosques, schools, taqiyya, using taqiyya, lying to the West. Oh, we are the victim cards, and showing. And I've seen some videos of many Palestinian babies in Gaza supposedly eating the sand. So the person who's videoing them holding his phone and watching them eating the sand, not even like having like a sense of a humanity to put your freaking damn phone off and don't let them eat the sand. Stop them from eating the sand. It's not ideal for them.
Sandra, it's not only that. It's also the ambulance driver with the baby who's driving and pumping the chest of the baby, while the cameraman on the side that is perfectly capable of holding the baby is taking video instead of holding the baby and saving it. So that's just a little bit of their twisted propaganda that they're trying to convey, you know, that they're trying to convey to the world, that their cause is more than anything. And also recently, have you seen, I don't know if you've seen it, the starvation in Gaza. Have you seen the recent video of the Palestinians emptying bags of flour to put Nutella chocolates inside to carry it home? So if the starvation is that real, why would you put the goods, the Nutella, and pour the flour that's very, very efficient for you nutrition-wise? Yeah. Why would you pour it and put goods inside to take it home with you? If you're truly starving, take the flour, take the tunas, don't take the chocolate, don't take the shit. Because your grandma was treated in a specific way and she was treated nicely by the soldiers, there's no reason why the soldiers would treat the Gazans right now any differently. No reason.
Exactly. And one thing I just want to emphasize on that not just only the treatments of the IDF for my grandmother. Of course, she lost the land. But guess what? She gained her life. She kept her life. This is the most important thing, because life, it's more important than land at the end of the day. That we are not living like as we lived in Jordan. It's a beautiful country. They give us the citizen and all the stuff. So I went to Israel. Actually, my wedding was in Israel. I was able to come to Israel and see the beauty of this country. And we were not treated like, you know, with discrimination or anything like that. I've seen it the first hand. And I wanted to also mention the criminality of Hamas and being sympathized, you know, with the West and all the so-called pro-Palestine, you know, pro-Hamas. We cannot call them pro-Palestine. It's straightforward. You're pro-Hamas. You are pro-genociding the Jews. You are pro killing the Jews and murdering the children and raping of the women and using like a rape as a tool of you know, in the war. That's inhuman in every way, in anywhere. Nobody will say, especially women, if they have a sense of dignity, sense of a self-respect, you will reject using a rape as a weaponizing a method to humiliate the Jewish community and also the families. I want to mention as well that we share, before I leave, I want to mention for all the victims, this is my message, for all the victims of October 7 and the hostages who's been released and the one who's not yet been released, and for all the Israeli and the Jewish community. Number one, it's my condolences. We share your pain. We share your thoughts. We share your dream about finally having your own home, your own land in peace and being protected. And guess what? God is good and doing miracles all over the world. And someone like me who's Palestinian, who grow up in this hate, who grow up in the doctrination of violence and revenge and jihad and terrorism, I turn my back on this. And I'm siding with the Jewish community. I'm siding with the Israeli. And I'm siding with the state of Israel. And I'm siding with the Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu. And I'm siding with the IDF. I'm siding with everybody who's fighting the good fight. Because we also, there is a high price. There's always a high price to pay. Our daughter was murdered in Sweden at age of 17 in the hand of the terrorists. Not in Saudi Arabia, not in Iraq, not in Jordan, in Sweden. This is what's happening in the West. And the lefties, the liptarded psychos, if they're not going to wake up right now, if the true patriots, they're not going to rise up right now, and a global revolution, if it's not going to happen, the West, it's gone. It's literally gone. My daughter at age of 17, because her biological mom, when she converted to Christianity, she refused to submit, because Islam means submission. If you're not going to submit, they're going to either, you have to either pay the jizya or being killed. That's it, period. That's it, it's done. So refusing to submit to Islam, refusing to be forced to marriage. I was 1 week away from her coming to me, to fly to me. Okay? And she gave her away to the terrorists, and they killed her with the cold blood. The case is not finished yet. We're still working on it. And I just want to ask everybody to pray for us, to pray for me, that one day the justice will be served civilly, because we're not criminals.
Amen.
And we don't.
Why was she, what was the reason for her murdering? Why was she murdered?
Converting to Christianity and not wanting to submit to Islam.
Wow.
And she was only 17 years old, beautiful girl. She used to play guitar in the churches as well. And, you know, she was full of life. Because guess what? They love darkness more than light. And they love death more than life. Mr. Sakher, you are on the right side of the history. And I know, I'm positive, 100%. I'm on the right side of the history. And from this platform, I challenge everybody who's disagreeing with me for a debate, and I can prove to everybody that everything we speak is the truth.
Sandra, I don't think anybody can beat you in a debate. I think you're too well versed on the Quran, too well versed on the culture. I think you're gonna beat everybody's asses if they try to put you in front of them to a debate. I think you're gonna slay them. Really, I think you're amazing. I just have one last question before you go, because I'm assuming that people will have questions about this. Can you tell me about your uncle? I know that you weren't really close to him, but can you just say a little bit more about your uncle, how he was connected to the Intifada, and yeah.
Yes, my uncle, his name Sakher Habash, he led the second Intifada. So I came from a family who praised terrorism, praised Intifada. We grew up in a household where, you know, Intifada is our thing. You know what I mean? My uncle who led the second Intifada, and of course, many innocent Jewish people were killed. So he came visiting us multiple times. I've seen him in Jordan. So basically, he was, of course, you know, praised man. He is the hero. He is the one and only who can free Al-Aqsa Mosque and free Palestine and all that stuff. No matter how many times they will attempt, you know, their attempt, one Intifada, second Intifada, and then Tufan Al-Aqsa, and then October 7. And no matter what they do, the truth will always prevail. So my uncle, yes, this is the household that I grew up in. We're a family who's rooted in the, you know, my mom, my biological mom was also one of the fidaiyat, I mean, the jihadists as well. And one of my uncle as well. He was one of the jihadists at the time of, you know, the conflict between them and the Israeli army. So, yeah, like we have many members in our family who went physically to jihad and physically were murdered. And, you know, so we grow up in a way that thinking that these people are... At a certain point of my life, I used to think, oh, wow, I want to be a fidai too. Like, I want to go for jihad. I want to help my grand. I want to, you know, die for the cause. You know, this is what our ultimate dream was. But now, forget that. I'm not sorry. I'm not dying for this freaking Allah or Palestine or Al-Aqsa Mosque. And I said it one day to the Jewish reporter, Israel did one big damn mistake. They did not destroy the Aqsa Mosque when they came 1948. It should have done long time ago. And when they go, they should go with the full force. You know what I mean? Just don't wait and don't listen to anybody interfering with your militant, you know, process. You know, fighting for your country. This is my message to them. Like, don't let anybody interfere. Who cares about the freaking what the UN is saying? Look at them.
Cares?
They're a bunch of psychos and bunch of liberals and bunch of bowing down to the Gulf money and the Saudi, the oil money and all that stuff. So we don't, mechanism of Israel, it works like this. The more you hit Israel, the more Israel becomes even stronger and stronger. And the more you curse Israel, the more Israel will be blessed. This is the formula of Israel. And I came to understand it fully. and I live in it, despite the challenges, despite the, of course, the heartbroken for our daughter. But this is something that we know it's for a greater cause, for something that divine power, that it's the hand of this divine power is taking care of Israel, even if the whole world set their back on Israel. The God of Israel will never leave them alone. And this is the covenant. And my advice, read the Psalm 23rd and Psalm 27. And the blessing of the Lord and the protection of the Lord, it will be filling your life and filling your spirit and filling your heart. And the final thing, I want to say thank you, Sakher, for your time. I really appreciate everything you do, and hopefully this is not the last time. More and more to come. And
of course not. Of course not. Sandra,
yes.
Sandra, for your information, guys, we're going to include her information down below. It's going to be all of her new channels that you can go and follow her in her new journey. I think she's incredible. I think you're incredible, Sandra. Really, you speak with so much passion. You have so much pain in your voice. And I see some sort of similarity between you and Musab Hassan Youssef. That, by the way, he was also denounced by his family. So his siblings are not targeted. I have to say, I'm truly inspired by people like you. And if I do 50 videos to change people's mind, I'm sure that this video will change a lot more people's mind, because it's coming from the source. You know, people read the books, but you write the books. I think you're incredible, Sandra. Really, you are incredible, and amazing interview.
Amen. Yes, prayer for me, and I'm actually writing a book. So hopefully that one day when it's published, you will be the first one to know about it.
Of course. What is it going to be about? Is it going to be about Islam? Is it going to be about the way to Christianity? What is it about?
The whole thing.
Your story?
No, not. It's the whole, it's about Israel. It's about the conflict. It's about the cause. It's about the whole thing, and the more and more details of the doctrination and the teaching, so people can understand and read it for themselves. We're living in the world. See, the Bible say, my people perish for the lack of knowledge, right? So lack of knowledge, it causes people to perish, generally speaking. You know, there's something also, even aside of the books, there's something called common sense. Common sense came before books. Without reading the Quran, without reading the Bible, without reading any book of anything, just live for humanity. And live the humanity, because we are human. We're not like a savage, barbaric from the 7th century coming. And here we are in the 21st century, repeating the beheading, rape, killing babies. Whatever you do, it will never justify for Palestine to have a state. This is not your justification. There is no justification. Whatever your cause, because the Palestinian cause, I'm Palestinian. I am the cause, I am the case. And I say to every Palestinian, please come to your common sense, your consciousness, and make peace with the Jewish community and make peace with Israel. It doesn't mean that you are on the weak side or you are whatever. No, it means you are powerful more than any of these thugs and bandits of Hamas and the Hamas sympathizers and the terrorists. You are strong when you act like a human, not like acting like a criminal, as a bandit, as a thug. So the act of criminalities, it doesn't come from a strong people. It comes from a weak people who has no arguments, who cannot say anything. They just want to use the sword or the firearms or the weapons, and attacking babies and raping women. I am sorry that I know that majority of the Palestinian community, of course, they look at it as a heroic, but I don't see it as a heroic action.
Of course.
I look at it as a cowardness. This is a cowardness. You have a reason to, you want to say something, you sit on the table and you negotiate peacefully. And then, last thing lost, I'm Israel Chai.